I think that people are using Simone Biles as their own soapbox. If they want to make a point about how much they love Simone Biles, good for her, mental health is important, and it is, of course. And if they want to make a point about athletes getting softer, they say, come on, yeah, we know you have to perform. That's always been the case. And there's the truth. There's truth to that, too. So I think people are kind of using this to make a point. My feeling about Simone Biles is she is not obligated to compete as long as she's not like, is she hurting Team USA? Did she pull out in such a way where she wasn't good? Her points wouldn't accrue to. No, she waited until that wouldn't be like she competed as far as it wouldn't hurt them, and now it hurt us. And now it's like, okay, I want to step back. I'm not feeling it right now. That's okay. What I notice is, and she's the greatest of all time. Like, I don't know if people want to make the point, well, you can't be the greatest of all time and still do this sort of thing. Well, obviously you can, because she is the greatest of all time, and she's doing it. But what occurs to me is you see Simone Biles doing this. You saw Naomi Osaka doing this. And we are living in a time, like, why all of a sudden is this happening, right? To high-profile athletes, women, you know, some of the highest-profile female athletes in the world. And I think it's a combination of social media, which has created more media and therefore more criticism, more negative media. I would imagine, I'm not a woman of color, but Kimberly, you can talk to this more directly than I can. I imagine particularly for women of color. But I would also say that along with that added pressure and added negative stuff coming people's way, there's also empowerment, you know? And so you can feel that added pressure, but you can also do something about it. Athletes are now more empowered by some of the same kind of mechanisms that create the pressure, including social media. And so now if they are feeling this added pressure and they're feeling like, you know what, I'm not feeling this right now, they actually have a say in what happens. And I think that we're Naomi Osaka and now Simone Biles are reacting to the time and place and the kind of pressures that of the time and place in which they're competing. But they also have remedies for that. Look, you know what? I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to take a step back. And I would just reinforce again the idea that for those who would say, well, then you can't be the greatest, but she already is. Mm-hmm. So obviously you can be.
You want to go, Kimberly?
Oh, go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, go ahead, Kimberly.
Oh, first of all, I'll just say Simone Biles had already solidified herself as the GOAT. Tokyo was going to be the icing on the cake. There was nothing that she was going to do that was going to make us say, oh, now she's really the GOAT. As somebody who covers athletes, as somebody who's covered baseball, football, basketball, I've watched Major League Baseball pitchers have the yips. I've talked to baseball players about consulting a sports psychologist. The pressure is real. I think as Max was saying, what's happening now is that athletes are finally being honest about the burden. You know, I was watching the Olympic coverage over the weekend, and I noticed a Simone Biles interview where she talked about how at 24, she felt it in her body. The injuries her body hurts. She feels old. And of course, I was like, wait, what? At 24, she feels old? And then she started talking more about the pressure and how she worries about the routines and injuring herself as she's doing the routines. And that's something she didn't feel when she was 19, where she just kind of felt carefree and said, I'm just going to go for it. I think it's good that athletes now are saying, no, I'm not okay. Because most of us aren't. Day to day, hour to hour, in real life, if we're really going to be honest, all of us can understand what that feels like. So imagine Simone Biles, greatest gymnast, is saying, I'm not myself. This doesn't feel right. The courage it took for her to say that, to admit that, to not be able to compete is huge. And a lot of people right now are on their soapbox, whether it's on social media, on different sports programs, saying, if I was Simone Biles, you're not. You're not. You never will be. I would have done this if you couldn't. So I credit these athletes right now, and I hope more of them will feel better about speaking their truth, because athletes, pressure's not new, but them being vocal about what they're struggling with and dealing with is new.
Listen, man, my late grandmother gave me the greatest gym I ever got, and I've gotten some great gyms from some high-profile people. But my grandmother, Christine Spears, gave me the greatest gym. Y'all know what that was?
What is it?
Mind, your damn business. People's mental health is not up for discussion. Individuals' mental health is not up for discussion. That ain't your business, right? You could talk about Simone Biles as the gymnast, as how she performed as a gymnast, but her mental health ain't up for nobody damn discussion. Because to Kimberly's point, we don't know what that girl going through, that woman going through. We don't know what people are going through. And listen, I played in the NFL for 9 years, right? I've followed sports my entire life. I would rather Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka take a step back for their mental health as opposed to self-medicating, if y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
As opposed to dealing with these things in other ways where I've seen tear guys' careers apart because it was mental health things going on, but they found other avenues that wasn't good for them as individuals to do, and it ended up hindering not only them as people, but their careers. I've seen this. This is not something I'm speculating about. I've seen guys not deal with mental health. Listen, I come from a generation where you don't deal with mental health. I come from a generation where people pass it off as, man, Mark is just crazy. He'll be all right. He'll deal with it later, or something that happened or an impact. Success don't make your mental health better. Money doesn't make your mental health better. The things you accomplish and calling people the GOAT, that doesn't make their mental health better. Michael Jordan stepped away from basketball to go play baseball. I guarantee you it had a lot to do with his mental health. So the bottom line is, people's mental health ain't up for damn discussion.